Hello, my name is Dr. Adam Bradford. I'm with Temple House Publishing. I want to tell you about some of the books that I've written. This is the Jesus Discovery. Who was Joseph? Who was Jesus' adoptive father? Jesus was the son of Joseph, but we tend to focus more on Mary. But of course, Joseph was the person who gave Jesus his identity in Judean society. Who was Joseph? Well, the Bible tells us he was devout and that he was a tekton. Devout means someone who kept the oral law. He was righteous according to the oral law, so he was educated. And Josephus Flavius, the Roman historian, tells us that King Herod had 1,000 priests. He needed training in the art of the tekton to build one of the wonders of the world, his temple. Joseph lived at that time. He was a Judean tekton, and as a devout tekton, he was ideal to train the elitist priests who would only have respected somebody who was schooled in the law, as Joseph was. So Joseph appears as the architect and trainer of the priests that built the temple for Herod the Great. And that impacts on what we read in the Gospels about Jesus' comments about his father's house. There's always a double meaning there. This book unpacks it. Another thing we know about Jesus in Luke chapter 2 was when he was 12, he sat with the doctors of the law in the temple, in the university that trained the rabbis there. And he so impressed them that Luke tells us they were amazed or astonished at Jesus' understanding and his answers. Well, according to the Jewish law, they would have had one option: to bring him into rabbinic scholarship, just as the Apostle Paul would later travel from Turkey to Jerusalem to study. If Jesus had in fact gone there, as every devout Jew would have wanted to, and as Mary and Joseph, as devout Jewish parents, would have wanted their son to, he would have later appeared on the scene age 30, because that's when the law said that rabbis could teach in public. So Jesus, far from being an itinerant, uneducated peasant carpenter, was in fact someone highly schooled in the Jewish law, someone who taught the Jewish law. That's why the priests gave him such respect. That's why he could teach in the temple courts. That's why he could clear the temple market without any interference. When Peter and John tried to teach in the temple courts in the book of Acts, they were arrested. Jesus teaches there every day without any interference at all, can even clear the market of the authorized changers of money and sellers of sacrificial animals. An itinerant peasant could not have done that without interference. So Jesus appears as a highly educated Jewish rabbi. That's why he aroused such spite and hatred from the priests at his conviction, that they're prepared to break the law by slapping him and spitting on him. Yet previously they'd been willing to debate with him in the temple courts. Jesus' enemies never say he's itinerant. They never say he's uneducated or self-educated. Had he been so, that would have been the very first thing that they would have said to him. Yet they never say it. Why? Because he was a highly educated and ordained person in his society. This book explains all of that and more. Thank you.